Well, hello, everyone. Good afternoon, good evening, and good morning somewhere out there in the world. This is none other than this awesome podcast, The Face of a Hero. And we have an amazing hero today. Some are unsung heroes, but this young lady probably is both in the front and in the back, but she's doing amazing things in the community. And I just felt led to pick her as our hero for today's show. Today is Thursday, and of course, we come on every Thursday at 8 p.m. for 30 minutes or so. And because this is the platform for our heroes to tell us their story of what it's like to step in their shoes and the things that they're doing now that many of you may or may not know what they're doing in the community to give back. And this young lady has actually encouraged many people to give back. So I don't want to take any more of this show's time to bring it to you, to bring her up on the platform. Like I said, this is just a great show to talk to our heroes and to bring them to light so that others will know the great things that they're doing and why they're doing what they do, right? So without further ado, let me bring up Miss Tamye. Hello, Miss Tamye Diaferio. Did I say it right?
Diaferio.
Diaferio, welcome. Thank you for coming on and being our hero on the Face of the Hero podcast. And thank you. I know you are a busy woman making great things happen in the community and for the community. And I just want to personally thank you for all that you have done. I may not reach out to you, but I am seeing what you're doing and sharing some of the things that you're doing because many people need to know where they can go and get help or things that they may need, right? But today is your day, Ms. Tammy, to tell us who you are. And just briefly, I'll just mention it here. She's all about paying it forward. How many of you pay it forward or have been thinking about paying it forward? Stop thinking. After you hear her story, you're probably going to jump up and start paying things forward, start being about it, not just talking about it. Obviously, she is the founder of Paying It Forward. Tamye Diaferio-Longoria, the founder, as I said, of Paying It Forward NWI, a lifelong Chicagoland resident, and she knows firsthand what it's like to need to rely on the community to help pay it forward. So, once again, thank you, Miss Tammy. So, I just
Thank you
read a
for
little,
having me.
yes, I just read a little bit about this paying it forward. So, first of all, I'm going to start by asking, who is Tamye Diaferio?
Well, I'm a 48-year-old woman who I've went through it all. It's anything you could imagine I've either been through or somebody in my family has been through or a friend has been through. So I've gone through and seen a lot through my lifetime. I was born and raised in Chicago in the city in Bridgeport, Illinois, on the south side. Um, I was adopted when I was younger, or actually taken, or my parents got guardianship of me when I was younger. So from the time I was 3 months old, my godmother ended up taking care of me, and my story was just it started there because I when I was 3 months old, my birth mother asked my godmother if she would babysit me, and she put me on the front porch of her house and she ran. And my godmother, even though she had 7 children of her own, took me in and made me the eighth. So it was just incredible. She raised me till I was 5. I had a wonderful, loving mother, father who was a Chicago police officer, a stepfather who was a Chicago firefighter. And when I was 5 years old, all of a sudden, it was time to put me in school. And my birth mom wouldn't sign over the guardianship for my parents to do that. So there was a whole legal battle over it. My birth mother tried to accuse my adopted mother of kidnapping me. We went to court for like 2 years. I went back and forth. So I learned how I unfortunately then found out what it was like to go through different parents and bouncing back and forth and being in the foster care system. So I know a little bit about that. And then fortunately, when I was 8 years old, my adopted mother, or my guardian, my godmother, her and her family won custody of me, which was wonderful. And when they won custody of me, it made a legal precedence in the state of Illinois for guardianship rights. So at that point in time, I didn't know. I was just a little girl. But here I was changing the world, because before then, unless you were biologically related to somebody, you couldn't take care of their children. You couldn't get guardianship of them. Unless they signed over adoption, you couldn't adopt them. So my court case actually made that difference. It set the precedent for people to be able to foster and to get guardianship of children that were not biologically related to them. And thousands of children have gone through that now and been wonderful homes because of that. So I guess my story just started there, and it just kind of snowballed. And I mean, I don't really like talking about myself. I get a little bit nervous, but obviously when you have a firefighter as a stepfather and a police officer as a father, and these are your core people who are raising you, you're raised to serve.
So obviously you've gone through your own struggles, your own fights, your own battles and challenges on your own, because obviously something had to have taken place for either you to experience it yourself or others to get you where you are today with paying it forward. Can you share a little bit about that?
Yeah, throughout the years, like I said, even though I had like a servant's heart throughout the years, I made my mistakes. I got into a really bad domestic violence relationship, and I didn't really realize I even was, just like many other women out there. They're like, oh, this man loves me, he's good to me, things are great. Next thing you know, you're like, oh, he's taking care of me, he doesn't want me to work. Oh, that's wonderful. But it's not really wonderful, because it's the start of the control pattern that a lot of narcissists make to control women and start abusing them mentally and physically. I was a girl who was like, this is a wonderful thing, until I realized this isn't so wonderful anymore. And I was being physically and mentally abused and locked in my own home and battered to the point that I lost my hearing and ended up having permanent brain damage, partial brain damage that I'm like, have to live with. So I went through the domestic violence situation. I thank God every single day that he found a way to get that man out of my life, and I was able to escape. And, here I am. But it's, between that, it's like I've lost people. I had two brothers commit suicide. So I lost two siblings to suicide. I had somebody else very close to me overdose when I was a young age. So it's like I just seen so much. By the time I was like 30, 35 years old, I had just seen so much. And it's like people would say when you're going through things, oh, quit crying about it. You hear that a lot. People will be like, oh, I'm going through this, or I'm going through this. And they'll say, quit crying about it. Get over it. We don't want to hear about it. Be tough. But that's not the way you need to answer people. You need to be able to say, okay, what can I do to help? Maybe I just need to listen. Other people, a lot of times they get uncomfortable when people are having problems. So they want you to say, oh, it's okay, I'm fine. But it's okay not to be fine. It's okay to cry. It's okay to reach out to somebody and be like, hey, can you help me? And I feel that because I've seen so much and I've been through so much, either personally, when after I was in the domestic situation, my ex-husband, he got locked up. He went to jail. I ended up losing my home. Somebody burnt down my home. Both of my fathers passed away. I was at a horrible state in my life. I got diagnosed with lupus. I was sick throughout my whole life and wasn't sure why. They finally figured out why in my 30s. So now I'm dealing with lupus. I'm losing my hair. I'm going through all kinds of medical treatment. My ex-husband, who beat me, finally, thank the Lord, is gone and out of my life. But now I have no financial stability because I made the mistake of counting on him for my financial stability, which is a huge mistake a lot of women make. And that's like, I didn't know what to do. And my father, who was always there for me, he passed away within months of this. And then somehow there was an arsonist going around, and an arsonist burnt down my house. And now I went from being somebody who worked her whole life, and I was a marketing executive. I was an event coordinator. I did childcare. I had jobs my whole life. I always worked. And now I'm a sick woman with no home and no money, living out of the backseat of her car, not entirely sure where I'm going to go or what I'm going to do. Until, thank God, I was driving through East Chicago, and I didn't even know the East Chicago area at the time, but I was driving through East Chicago with a friend, and I was driving past and I seen a for rent sign outside. And I'm not going to lie, there was a cute guy sitting on the porch at the time. And I said, oh, damn. And my sister said, oh, yeah, that's right. It's for rent. And I was like, oh, I noticed him, but it's for rent. And I stopped and I got out of the car and I told the person my situation. And a lot of landlords weren't willing to take a risk on me at the time because my house had got burnt down. So they're like, like, who is this girl? I don't know her. She lost her house. She's disabled. She's only getting so much money every month. A lot of landlords are like 3 times the amount of rents, which just is not feasible for anybody.
Right.
So, he took a chance on me, thank the Lord. And he took a chance on me and I ended up in East Chicago, and slowly but surely, I was just kept building the charity and building the charity and building the charity. The one thing I never did through all of it we started, the charity got established in July of 2013. And through all of it, things, the sickness, the homelessness, everything, I never stopped serving the community. I never stopped running the programs the charity did, whether they had to be ran out of my front room or my garage, or we just kept doing it, renting a church hall, whatever we had to do, we made sure the community was served. And it was just at that point in time, I finally got a hand up, and I met a lot of good people in East Chicago, Indiana, who were like, hey, we're going to help you. And eventually I went from the apartment to a house. So I was running out of the house. The one year we didn't have a place to have our prom program, I turned my whole entire basement into a prom store. And we gave over 110 dresses and jewelry and shoes to girls in the local community, just out of my basement, setting appointments in my basement. I was giving diapers and toiletries out of my garage. And then a financial opportunity came up where somebody was able to help me out a little bit. And then I moved the store to the East Chicago, on Chicago Avenue. Now we're located at 821 West Chicago Avenue.
Look at that. You're on Central Avenue right there on a center street where it's heavily trafficked. Look at God.
So isn't God amazing? Because it went from me not knowing if I was going to live or die, going through the deepest of depression. Now, I didn't, at that point, it's like, I lost everything. Why go forward? But I was just like, I kept saying, I need to go forward because the people need me. The people that I'm helping need me. The people that I'm helping need me. And that's always been in the back of my head. It's not that I need to keep going to help myself, which probably isn't the best thing to say because you should be focused on yourself. But it's always been the people need me, because if I don't do it, who's going to? And I know there are a lot of other people out there who do this. So great. Kudos to everybody. They're like amazing, the people that do this. But it's like when you realize, you step back and you see things going on in life and you're like, oh, that's sad. Oh, that's sad. But what am I going to do about it? And you got to ask yourself, what are you going to do about it? Because together we can all make such an amazing, incredible difference in the community, in our communities, in our world. It's like, all you have to do is finally say, I don't like this. I don't like that this is happening. I don't like to see it. And not just talk about it, be about it, make a change, make a difference, do something about it. And I spent the last 11 years of my life doing something about it.
And I think that when someone does that, when they're just serving, then their own problems don't seem to be as big.
Absolutely.
Seeing that someone else is too in need, and you know what that's like because you've been there, done that. You've been through it all, and you understand why you believe someone else needs you, because you probably didn't have that same that you're paying forward, someone to do that for you, like what you're doing for so many other families.
Absolutely. That's exactly what it is. It's like, and when you don't have somebody to turn to and you're in the position where you're like, okay, a lot of people have said to me, get over it, tough it up, suck it up. You got to just keep moving. Don't do this. Don't do this. When I'm sick and in bed with my lupus and they're like, oh, you're just being lazy. And it's like, and you have to send them, do you know what lupus is? Do you understand this? I'm being lazy. I'm very sick. And it's like, so when you see that, you're like, no, it's like, that's not how you talk to people. Right. And it's like, and coming from a background where I had 2 brothers commit suicide and I had a best friend commit suicide. And our charity actually started because one of my friends posted on social media, somebody I grew up with, that he wanted to die and that he couldn't stand his life anymore. And he was so depressed. And if you read the comments underneath it at the time, it was the same thing. Tough it up. You're a man. Don't cry. Men don't cry. Don't act like
No.
that. Why don't put your business on social media? Instead of saying, hey, I'm here for you. You need to talk to me. Where are you at? Let me reach out for you.
Yeah, let's go have a
All
cup
these,
of coffee.
yeah,
Something.
all these cruel comments. I mean, and there were a few of them, but mostly it was cruel comments underneath them saying, don't put your business on social media. Mind you, this was 13 years ago when social media basically, it wasn't around for long, and Facebook wasn't around for long. And that a lot of people were like, oh no, don't share on social media. And now people are like, everybody shares on social media. But back then it seemed like almost a stigma to share. So people were telling him not to. Well, the following morning they found him dead. And I was like,
Wow.
why? This did not have to happen.
Didn't have to happen.
Not have to happen. Somebody, and I wish that I would have seen the post when it happened instead of having somebody call me the next day saying, hey, your friend Michael died. Because if I had seen a post, I would have been like, where are you at? I'm on my way to you. Let me help you.
Yeah.
Let me
Yeah.
walk through
Yeah.
this. But I didn't see the post in time, unfortunately. But I'm like, nobody should have to be ridiculed when they're dealing with something like that. They need to have somebody that they can talk to, that they don't feel judged, not criticized, not judged, nothing like that. And that's when I started the Paying It Forward Facebook group on Facebook. At the time, it was one of the very first community help groups on social media. Facebook actually made a campaign around it called Social Good, and like put us out there, and we were like promoting social good on Facebook and doing social good on Facebook. But the whole point of it wasn't like to be promoted by Facebook or anything like that. The whole point of it was to let people know they had a safe space to go to talk to people that understand. And even today, people tell me, don't share your story. And like,
No.
like people try and tell me, and I'm like, I'm a survivor. And they're like, when you share your story, you sound like a victim. And I'm like, no,
Oh my
well,
gosh.
I don't care what you say. I don't care what you say. I'm going to continue to share my story.
Good.
And I'm going to continue to tell people what I went through.
That's
and I said, and you know why? I said, because when people go to a mental health facility to talk to a psychologist, they hide they don't tell them the whole picture. When they go to a social worker and they're like, oh, I need help with this or that, they don't tell them the whole picture, because they're like, what if I'm being judged? What if this person's going to write something down on the pencil? What if this happens? When people walk into Paying It Forward and they see me, I don't know what it is, but they just start either crying or telling me about what's going on in their lives. And it's like, they feel comfortable too. And I think it's because
you give that
they
space
know
to
I
them.
understand.
Exactly.
And I'm like, it doesn't matter. You could tell me anything. This is a judgment-free zone. I'm not going to repeat anything that you say. Whatever you say to me is confidential. I'm not going to judge you. I'm not going to give you advice you don't want. But if there's something that I can tell you that might help you, like resource or something, I might direct you in that way. But just go ahead, cry it out. I understand. I've been there too. And if I haven't, I know somebody who has. Nobody's perfect. We all bleed red. We all live in glass houses. So people just shouldn't judge others. It's like,
no, you're right.
Don't judge others based on their sorrows or what they're going through. Just be like, hey, I'm here to help. It's like, hey, you want to talk? I'm here to help.
That's it. Sometimes that's all they need, is just to get it out of their chest and they feel better. And part of healing is telling your story. That's part of healing of all the pain that you've gone through. But there's a pain with a purpose, and you're living that purpose, that the pain you went through, Tammy. You are showing the world that you don't sit and sob. You do something about it. Yeah, you have the time for that, but how long are you going to continue to do that? And you're not living at the same time. Here you are, you're living.
Yes, absolutely.
You're serving. That's your purpose. The pain you went through, now you see your purpose. And I applaud you and whoever else is helping you. I have been seeing you grow when you started out in one little room and you're asking people to donate things. And I see that people are gravitating to your positive energy, to your heart of giving. And is that why you called it Pay It Forward? Because you were hoping someone would pay it forward to you, right? But you're teaching others. This is how you do it.
No, you know what? I always say, even when people say, oh, well, we'll help, we'll do something for you. It's not about me. It's like, you don't owe me a thing. I've been there too. Someone once helped me out. Like, I'm helping you. So if you want to pay it back, what you do, don't let the chain of love end with you. And that's like something that I heard. It was a song long ago that was an old
movie.
song. And it's like, it's from the movie. And it's like, you pay it forward because it's like, you don't have to pay me back for what I did for you. But please go out there and help somebody else. Do something good for somebody else. Because, and even if like, when people come to us, I'm like, if you want to help through us, absolutely. Like, volunteer your time at our store. We always need volunteers. We always need diapers and toiletries and the different things that we do. Food donations, because we do free meals on Thursday nights. So we always need volunteers and help and stuff. So if you want to pay it forward through our organization to help other people, absolutely. But I never look at it as people are helping me. It's like they're helping through me to help somebody else. Amen. Just like I'm helping, but it's God's purpose. So it's like I may be doing the work, but it's his work.
Amen. You are just his vessel, and you're allowing him to use you to serve others by paying it forward and teaching others to do the same. Just like you said, you don't owe me anything. Just go and do something else for someone else. Just pay it forward, right? Just like the movie where the young boy was teaching people and he ended up, dying. It was a very sad. I still watch it and I'll still cry at the end, just like I'm watching it all over again, right? So Tamye, what are the days of service that you all have your store open, the Paying It Forward open?
So we're here every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday from 2 p.m. to 7 p.m. On Thursdays, we're actually here from 2 to 8 because we serve a free meal to the community every Thursday from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. And we're here always. And then Mondays by appointments. So, and then sometimes we have events like this Saturday, we're giving 60 bikes away, 60 brand new bikes to local children who wouldn't otherwise have bikes for the summer. So even though we might not be here on the weekend, we might be out there somewhere else doing something incredible.
So what is it that you're asking the community? And this is your time. Ask away. You have not because you've asked not. What is that one thing that you would ask the community to do?
I would ask them to really come in and get to know me and get to know what we do and get to know the programs. Because a lot of people, they say, oh, we heard of Paying It Forward, but we don't know what you do. And we have been around for 3 years on Chicago Avenue, and we help a lot of people. We help with diapers. We help with toiletries. We help with food. We have a whole resource center now, which is like a free coffee shop. So you can come in, get a free glass of water, a free cup of coffee, come in out of the cold in the wintertime, come in out of the heat in the summertime. If you need a resume made, we'll help you make a resume. We'll help you if you need information on how to apply for assistance. We'll help you apply for assistance. We do free faxes, free emails, for people. We even has started giving the government phones away so people can come in and get the free government phones and government phone services. So we have a bunch of resources here that we give away, and also the diapers and toiletries. But we have a lot of people that come in for help, but we don't have a lot of people in the community that say, hey, we want to sponsor your organization, or we want to sponsor a dinner, or we want to sponsor what you do. It's more like people are like, okay, what is Paying It Forward? So if you don't know who we are, my big thing is watch your podcast tonight to find out who we are.
Yes, that's right. Bring it out, sponsor this event, sponsor this nonprofit. And that's the call out right now. Is that your call out, Tamye? Right now.
That's it. Like, sponsor us, help us, because we're not, there's a lot of agencies that are government funded. Paying It Forward is not a government funded agency. We have a team, a board of directors who are constantly doing this fundraiser and that fundraiser and this fundraiser just to pay the rent and keep the doors open. We're constantly going out there. We give birthday gifts to kids every month that otherwise wouldn't have birthday gifts or birthday cakes. And we're constantly going out there saying, please somebody buy birthday gifts for them, or please somebody buy birthday cakes for somebody. Even with the bike drive, like we got, thank the Lord, we got 60 people to come out and buy bikes. But a lot of our sponsorship does not come from the East Chicago or even surrounding areas. A lot of our sponsorship comes from people that we knew in Chicago, on the South Side and the North Side and Illinois area. We even have now, there's this lady, Carolina Rios and Rudy Balderas, and they are from the local area. Carolina grew up in East Chicago. They live in Georgia. But at Christmas time, when we were short Christmas gifts, they came out and Rudy flew out all the way from Georgia and bought gifts for like 40 kids that still needed gifts. They spent over $5,000 on Christmas gifts for kids in the East Chicago area. For the bike giveaway, we were short bikes, and they went online and they bought the last 14 bikes we needed for the kids to get bikes for bikes. So you don't actually even have to be local. You could be from anywhere. It's
well, they're watching you from everywhere, Tammy, and you touch your heart and let your heart tell you to touch your pocket. And where should they contact you? I see I'm putting on the bottom of the screen your website and your phone number. What's the best way to reach out to you if they want to donate?
The best way, if they want more information personally to donate for a specific program, would be to call us at 219-318-3122. But if they want to find out about what programs we have going on, we're constantly updating the website, and that's payingitforward.NWI.com. And they can go there and find out more about Paying It Forward, more about what we do, more about what programs we have on at the time, and how to donate and become more involved.
Well, that's
like certainly... I said, you could be local. Like we call out to the locals, please be more involved. Please find out more about us. But it doesn't matter where you're from. Like the Balderas people showed us, you can help from Georgia. At Christmas time, we had gifts coming from Spain. So it doesn't matter where you are in the world. If you have it in your heart to pay it forward and help us help families in need in the Illinois and Northwest Indiana area, please do so.
Yeah, and forward before I had put Pay It Forward, so my mistake. It is Paying It Forward NWI.com. The phone number's been flashing on the screen. The website's been flashing on the screen. So let it touch your heart. If you are in another state and you said, I feel like giving back to East Chicago, to my hood, to where I grew up, to where the streets I walked on, that I was not missing out anything, but there's always someone missing out. And you know what? You may not, just like what Tammy was saying, that they just dismiss the issues that you're having and the problems that you're having. Instead of being the lending hand, the ear, or the shoulder to lean on or cry on, you just dismiss it. Be that person that says, I want to make a difference. I know what it's like to be that way. I know what it's like to be treated that way. I know what it's like to live like that. And now I am blessed. So let me go and bless someone else. And let me tell you that when you focus on someone else's problems, yours becomes smaller, people. Less of you and more of God. But he will use you just like he's using Tammy. And once again, thank you for your big heart, Tammy. Thank you for making a difference. You may or may not hear it enough, but people are watching and they may not tell you. So I'm hoping that through these platforms, they will touch their heart, and hopefully their heart and mind tells them to touch their pocket. No amount is too small. That if 100 people were to donate $10 or $50, you know how much that would add up? I think there's more power in numbers. So let's share this show, share what Tammy's doing, paying it forward by saying, I have my donation here. I'm going to drop it off. I'm going to send it to you. How can they send money to you? Can they Zelle it or mail it, or what's the best way? I'm sorry,
corporations.
Say it again.
If they want to mail a donation, especially big corporations or businesses, sometimes like to mail it, they can write a check or a money order to Paying It Forward, and they can mail it to 4328 Alcott, East Chicago, Indiana, 46312. The address is also on our website, or they can come in anytime we're open to drop off a donation. We also have, I don't know where it's at right now, but we also have Venmo. We have our little Venmo card, so you can like Venmo us. I don't know if you can see it, but you can Venmo us. You can Cash App us. So we have different options, and always there's a donation link on the website. So you can go right to our website and make a donation on our website. Choose what you want to donate for, and it'll send you a donation receipt for your tax purposes immediately right back to you.
And for you corporations, banks, you have money that you need to write off. So now's the time. So when tax season comes, you already have given a check for $2,000 to Paying It Forward. I'm just throwing a number out there. And now you can write it off because you allocate funds for community events, fundraisers, what have you. So let's learn by others that are paying it forward. And hopefully this has touched your heart to touch your pocket. Any last thing you want to mention that I may not have asked or you have yet mentioned?
we've really said it all. It's just like you said, it's just about touching people's hearts, making a difference. And it doesn't matter, even if you don't have money to help, sometimes you might be able to cook a meal. If you're local and it's like, it's a Thursday night and we need a meal, maybe you can make a pot of chili or a pan of rice or something like that. So there's always some way to pay it forward. So a lot of people think, oh, I don't have money or I don't have time, I can't help. But there's always some way to help. If you find paying it forward, it's nice when it comes from the pocketbook to help us. But more importantly, it comes from the heart. So if you have it in your heart to pay it forward and make a difference and make a change in your community, it doesn't matter how small the act of kindness is that you're able to do or how you're able to do it. Just do it. Just because you said the minute you're kind to other people, that kindness spreads. And whatever you're going through in your life, it just makes it feel like you're not going through anything at all because you're blessing others. And through blessing others, you bless yourself. And Paying It Forward is turning 11 years old this year. So we have a goal. We're trying to raise $11,000 by 11 years, which is on July 29th. So we have a goal for that. So that's
all right. Well, you guys heard it. You guys heard it here from the founder of Paying It Forward. And Tamye, I just once again thank you for all that you do, for being that servant leader and teaching others that even if you go through your storm, you don't focus on the storm and what can you do to change someone else's storm. And that's exactly what you're doing. Kudos to your board members as well. And so I'm sure this won't be the only time I'll bring you on because we want to know what happens after the 11th anniversary. So with that, thank you so much for coming on this show, The Face of a Hero. Today, you are our hero. And once again, muchas gracias. Thank you for all that you do, Tamye. And we'll see you soon. I'll be stopping at your store and I'll probably do live. I cannot tell you when, but I most certainly will make that attempt to do that.
To see you, and thank you for having me on, Eva. God bless you.
God bless you as well. And so stay behind the scenes and we'll be back with you. Okay. Thank you.
Sounds good.
All right. Wow, that is an amazing hero. Some of you probably didn't know who Tamye was, but people in the harbor in East Chicago know who Tamye is, and she's always giving back. And go to her website, donate, donate, donate. No amount is too small. You know, as they say in Spanish, hoy por ti, mañana por mí. Today, you could be the one may need it, but tomorrow it could be me. You never know. You never know. So on that note, guys, gotta go. Got places to go, people to see. And thank you so much for joining us here on The Face of a Hero. And as you know, we're on every Thursday at 8 p.m. Sunday is Real Talk with EVE at 8 p.m. as well. So stay tuned for some great testimonials on that one this Sunday. So, okay, I gotta go. So you all take care and be safe, be blessed, and know that you are so loved and appreciated just from you following us here. We thank you and we appreciate you. And once again, our show comes on every Thursday at 8 p.m. Until then, we'll see you. Nos vemos pronto. I'm trying to find something here so we can keep it going. And so thank you. It's just been great. It's been real. Gotta go.